weird.
Those honeymoon phases. If it feels like it's like this and you feel that condescending tone, you feel that gaslighting, like pay
my
attention.
biggest thing when I left my relationship, and I talk about this all the time, this is my best analogy. I was on a roller coaster ride for 4 years and it was fun sometimes, and other times it fucking sucked. Now all I want is a Ferris wheel. I want a Ferris wheel kind of love where it's consistent. It's not crazy. It's fun, and I know what to expect. Like, that's what I want.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Yay.
Zippity doo dah, zippity yay. It's another day for Straight Candid Podcast.
That was good. I liked that.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Thursday. We're happy to be in your ears, talking to you again. We've got a really, really freaking good episode coming for you. I feel like I kick off every single episode with that. But
I know. Every episode I'm like, I'm so excited, but I am.
I'm so happy. You guys have to hear this. No, seriously. We just had, wow, what you're about to hear. I just don't even know where to start. Angie O'Connell's on here. She kicks it off. She talks about her life and fitness, women's empowerment, toxic relationships. Oh my God, you guys, everything under the sun. And she is so well spoken. I cannot wait for you to hear this. But first, we got to do our Straight Candid moments.
Bring it in to hashtag Straight Candid moments of the week. Okay. You want to go? I go. You go. You go. I go. I go. I go.
I'll go because mine's not funny.
Okay.
Okay. So I started taking a new birth control because my doctor suggested that I get new birth control. Technically, it's just like another generic brand, but I never associated how I feel with birth control. And the reason I'm bringing this up as my Straight Candid moment is because people are sending it in to us about getting advice about birth control.
Talk about birth control. Are you guys on it? What do you do?
Yes, I'm on birth control. I have been since I was in 7th grade because of my horrible, horrible deathly cramps, to the point where I vomit. And they've been horrible since literally 7th grade, the first period that I had. I don't do the IUD because I'm afraid of putting it in, and I don't do the arm implant because I'm afraid of everything, medical, and I'm gross. I can't even think about it going into my arm. Gross. But what happened is I started feeling freaking weird. I felt weird all week.
You're on the pill?
I'm on the pill all week. I cannot stop puking. I can't stop puking in the morning. Oh. Every time I wake up, I am so nauseous.
Are you sure you're not pregnant?
I'm positive. I think there's no way. But I'm literally ill. And I'm telling you right now, I've got to switch. I've got to do something. But you're not supposed to be puking in the morning. It's really freaking hard in your stomach. They're freaking intense hormones. This is not normal behavior. And they told me this is the same thing. It's just the generic brand of what you had. It is not the same thing.
Weird.
So do your research, do what's good for your body, but fuck, I am ill from it.
So Sid's Straight Candid moment of the week is that she's pregnant. We're welcoming little baby boy.
If it's a baby, nope. It's just the chicken tender that I had before this. Yeah.
But no, I totally relate to the birth control conversation. I've been too afraid to switch to the IUD because
I'm just afraid.
I'm also on the pill because when I switch brands, do anything different with my pills, if I miss a pill, it's it just fucks your body up for a couple weeks even. Yeah. So I'm containing or maintaining the consistency as long as I can until I don't know. I can't switch.
I can't. Yeah. Oh God. Anyway.
I think it can be a whole conversation eventually. But we want to get Angie on here. So I'll tell my Straight Candid moment really quick too.
Do it really quick. And sorry also that my moments haven't been funny. It's literally just because I haven't been feeling very good and I get really crabby when I don't feel good. So I'm like, oh yeah,
guys,
nothing's funny.
She's God. A bitch. I'm sorry. Mine are always kind of surface level. So you know what I'm saying?
No, that's fine.
Right? Okay.
I like them.
I had really bad anxiety this week, if that counts for anything. I didn't
something.
have coffee. I literally drank decaf all week, which is insane for me.
That's not you.
Not me at all. But that wasn't really my Straight Candid moment. I want to say this Straight Candid moment because it's related to working out, and Angie Okon is a fitness influencer.
So freaking ripped.
I wish I would have asked her this question on the podcast, so I might have to shoot her a DM and see what she replies, and then maybe we can post it on the Straight Candid story later. But I want to know if any other females out there have experienced what's called a core-gasm. A core-gasm.
I, for one, have not.
this happened to me for the first time in 7th grade. I was in gymnastics, and we were holding the bar hang, and my legs were out in front of me just like this. And I was like, this feels pretty good. I'm like, oh, this feels really good. I'm going to keep holding it. And you experience like almost an internal orgasm, but it's not like the kind of orgasm where you're like convulsing. It's just like an internal orgasm without the convulsions. I don't really know how to explain it because I've never had an internal orgasm before. It's all like clitoris. Wow, this is really detailed. I'm so sorry, but it's the craziest thing, and it happened to me the other week at the gym, and I was doing the leg raises, and there it goes again, and all of a sudden
you texted me.
I literally was
texted me.
I was freaking out because it hadn't happened to me in years, but I also haven't done this leg raise movement for a long time. So I literally was texting Sid.
I found it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, she goes, in all caps, I just had a coregasm at the gym twice. 3 times. I'm like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? What move are you doing? No way. What the fuck? Teach me? Question mark. She goes, on my mom's grave. It felt so good. Debating one more set. I'm almost curious to see it when and if it stops. I'm doing knee raises. Sends a photo on this thing. Haven't done them in like a year or so. So I think that's part of it. LOL.
I did 5 sets. Until
I
was exhausted.
I cannot believe that. I've never had that. I don't even know what that is.
I'm going to put a link on our page because I feel like people are like, you're making this shit up. And I swear to God, I'm not.
I believe you. I believe you to my core, but get it?
I believe you to my core gasm.
But I just don't. I've never had that happen.
Dude,
I
it
don't
was
believe
awesome.
that I can see how it can happen because all those muscles are right there in your core.
Dude,
weird,
it was fucking awesome.
Weird. You always got these things. I'm like, what? What have I been doing?
I don't know, man.
I'm just sitting there doing crunches.
Okay,
apparently
but
not working.
If you want to try to experience it, I did a little research. You're supposed to do like a hard cardio workout, whatever you're doing, HIIT workouts, end with that ab workout where it's either called like a capstan chair leg raise. So you put your elbows down on that, on those pads, and you're sitting up and you bring your knees up to your chest. Straight leg. Okay. Or you can hang from a bar and do hanging knee raises. But those are the moves where most women have experienced this.
So freaking interesting.
Okay. That's a little tip for the day. If you want to try to have a orgasm at
what
the gym.
The heck, you guys?
All right. Enough of that being said. We're going to bring Angie Okon on the podcast right about now. So we're so excited for you guys to hear what we have in store for you.
Without further ado, Angie. Angie Okon.
Boom,
Here
boom,
we
boom,
are.
boom. Here we are.
In the his out.
She's here. Yay. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm freaking
excited.
Hyped. We've been waiting to have you on.
Yes.
We've been like hyped up about it.
I know. I've been watching all your guys' stuff too. I'm like, okay, what are they going to talk to me about? But I was watching it anyways before this, but now I was like intently watching it.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
I was going to say, I watch your stories start to finish every day, and there's like a lot, and I'm there. Start to finish.
That makes me feel so
every
cool.
day.
She's tuned in. So
I'm tuned in, baby.
No, before we even dive into who you are, because we're freaking so excited that you're here, we want to address something that's super, super prevalent and important right now that's happening, and that needs to be talked about. There's been a lot of hate crimes recently, especially in the Asian community, and I feel like it's just something that we need to talk about and address. There's people hurting, and there's people being targeted for just who they are. And I think it's something that we need to recommend to people, like, resources that they can go to, whether they're struggling or ways to help. But it's even during COVID, we've been having so many communities of people who are being discriminated against, and it's horrible and needs to be talked about.
I feel like the pandemic has like just been exposing the racism that has always been prevalent. And as white females, like, we're the ones who need to be educated and shut up and listen to the voices of the racial minorities. So Angie, what is your experience with everything that's been happening, and what advice you have to give to people like Sid and I, to people of the Black community, people of the Asian community, anything along those lines?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot has happened in 2020 and now coming into this year. And my big thing with what's happening right now is like being able to give them a voice and a platform, the Asian community. It's kind of like what was happening last year with like the Black community, and letting them speak and like letting us speak and have our voice and just really share our experiences. And it's kind of like, it's crazy. Like you just said, I feel like it's really becoming this thing where people are like showing their true colors, and it's like crazy, but it's also like it's always been happening. So I don't know why suddenly it's like everything is coming out. But the reality is amplifying Asian community voice right now and like letting them speak their truth and letting them talk about their experiences. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not racist, but like that's not enough anymore. It really isn't. Like you have to be anti-racism and you have to do more than just, share what you think is like what's going on or like share things. Like you really need to educate the people around you as much as you can. Like it's not my responsibility. I've been saying this like because a lot of people are like, what should I do? I'm like, you know what, it's really hard for me to tell everyone what to do. Like take the time on your own and research and try to understand and listen to the people in your world. But I think it can be a lot deeper than just anti-racism. It's like anti-hate right now, because it's not just how you look, but if you have a different life, like if you live a different way, you look a different way, you love a different person, it's all this hatred. And when we can come to this place where we're all together as like human beings, like, and come from a place of love and look at it like that versus like, oh, you're different. That's what makes us so fucking amazing. Our unique differences, our belief system, what we love, who we love. Like we just have to come together as, a humanity, but then also amplify the people who are having those attacks and feeling like they are, being taken advantage of or second-class citizens.
Yeah,
So
totally. I completely agree. And I condone all the things that you said. They're beautiful.
That was really
strong,
beautiful.
Strong
Thank you.
advice.
Wow.
I'm
This
like,
is
I don't
gonna be
even,
a good fucking podcast.
yeah, I was like, wow. No, but checking in with the people too,
Right.
like just like in your community, in your circle, maybe even one outside of your circle, just seeing how they are. That's what I've heard from people in my community. Like I want people to check in. I want people to check on how I'm doing. Like
Right.
silence is not the answer. I think that's the number one thing we need to remember.
Yeah.
I want to share an article though that I found for the Asian American Advancing Justice, it's called. The actual article is called 8 Actions You Can Take to Fight Anti-Asian Violence. So Google that if you can. But 3 things to help in this exact instance is sign their collective community statement. You'll scroll right in the article and see it. Donate to the Atlanta victims and their families, and share resources you can offer to the victims. And they have links to all 3 of those things. So please take time to do that if you're able.
Love that.
Yeah. Seeing the people that were killed in the most recent attack, there was someone who was my age, and I was like, I think a lot of people can't see things out of their own perspective, like outside of their own world. And if it's not like, oh, it doesn't directly relate to me, or it's not my community, it's not my culture, or it's not my people, it's harder. But like when you can really open up your mind and be like, okay, yeah, maybe not, we don't look the same, but shit, that person, one of them was my age. It's like, damn.
Yeah, and
That's
hated for what? For being you?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine?
Can't change it. Shit.
You were born in this body.
Yeah.
And reading things about those experiences, like firsthand when someone narrates it, that's another way to kind of look at it, because that's when it like dug to my heartstrings too. It was just like the hate crimes. There was a post on Instagram.
Yeah, we reposted to our story, and we'll repost it today on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was just a son talking about losing his mother during those hate crimes, and just the realness and rawness. He's like literally begging for help for people who have experienced hardships like this. He's like, I don't know how to deal with this. I lost my mom, who is not going to see me get married or graduate college. Like, what do I do? Can someone help me? Like the helplessness, like, we needed to talk about it. It needs to be talked about. Talk about it in your circles. Talk about it in your groups. Encourage people to talk more. We need to talk.
And by not talking about the race, it just intensifies those stereotypes
Exactly.
in the first place. So
100%.
Thank you for giving your
Thank you.
input on that too.
Yeah.
Sorry we had to start on a heavy note, but
we
now
need to, right?
We needed to, and now we can get into some good stuff and fun stuff, huh?
Love it. Angie,
Goodies. Angie.
who are you? Give us your elevator
Who am
speech.
I? Oh my goodness. Who am I? That's the question. I feel like this year I've been like, who the fuck am I for real?
Yes.
But I get this question. This is a question I get a lot when people are like, so what do you do? And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Because I'm not just a trainer. I'm not just a coach. I'm not just a bodybuilder. I'm honestly a lot of things. So it's really hard to like put myself in this box. I'm a lot of things. But I think if I were to say I was something, like one thing, I'm just a woman who wants to fucking change the world and empower other women to be strong, strong-minded women who just do whatever the fuck they want.
Preach it.
Love
That's
that.
it.
Oh, that was beautiful.
And
That was-
honestly, that is one of my favorite things about you. And I was going to bring this up right away, is you are genuinely someone who uplifts other women. There's a lot of women out there that I've made this analogy before on this podcast, but think that they have to sink someone else's ship to keep their ship afloat. You are one of those rare females out there that honestly and genuinely want other people to succeed, because you know that's just like it's a circle. It's gonna return.
Right.
You just want to help those other women. You uplift them. You bring them confidence. You are a boss bitch.
Right.
And
There's power
yes.
in someone who can help others and lift others up versus like when you have that power and you lift those people, then you have a stronger community that, you know, when my dog died, he died last September.
Yeah, that was hard on you.
It was the worst. We don't have to even get into that, but it was horrible. But what I realized, and that, like, I never cried harder because of the people, these women who showed up for me, and they're like, no, you were here for us, like we are here for you. And in that moment I was like, okay, like, all right, so I'm making a difference. And that's what matters, is having these people where you've made such an impact on them that they come rushing to your side, they come rushing to your aid to support you. And that's what, like, I believe in the community of women is like, we just support each other, we're there for each other no matter what it is, and we uplift each other whenever we need it. Like when I can't get up, y'all help me. Y'all pick me up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You've made that community around you.
Hell
You
yeah.
use your social media for that community to create that community. That's beautiful.
And I've noticed, like, some fitness influencers that I follow, I feel as if some of them kind of like hide their fitness secrets and aren't so transparent. And you give everything about your life. You're like, this is, I'm on a cut right now. It's fucking hard. This is the real life. This is exactly how it feels. This is exactly what I'm doing. You're someone who like wants to share that knowledge rather than like keep the knowledge for yourself, because you generally are helping those other people. So
If you're not helping other people, what the fuck are you really doing?
Yeah,
like, what if you're not making an impact on the world? What does it matter? Like, why are you here? And like, that's the thing too, when it comes to like being transparent, like what the fitness, especially in health and wellness, like there's no secret. Like we don't need to hide things like, oh, here's what I'm eating, but I don't want to tell people about it. Like, no, here's what the fuck you need to do. I want people to be healthy. I want people to be good. I want people, like, overall, when you take care of yourself, it impacts so many other parts of your life. And if you can make that small impact in someone's, you know, life, it can change so many other things. You don't even always see what it is, but you can make such an impact on other people.
I feel like there's not a lot of people though with a platform like yours that do that because they want to be lifting themselves up, or maybe someone else put them down. They're like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to do my thing, kind of like keep it on the DL and succeed and go up and up, but it never ends up working.
I think it's changing though. I think
it is
we're seeing people who are more like, hey, here's what I do. Here's how I can help you. But it can be frustrating because you can tell people, it doesn't matter how many times, you know, you could be like, here's what you should do. Here's how often. And people are like, well, what do you eat? And I'm like, well, that doesn't fucking matter what I eat. But you can tell them as many times that at the end of the day, they have to want to, you know, learn for themselves. They want to better themselves. It can't rely on us to kind of give them all that. But, you know, we do our best. You can do what you can and people will take what they want from it. So,
and your transparency is exactly why we want you on the podcast, because that's what Straight Can is about. We talk about real shit. We're going to get into some dirty details and we're going to be candid with you all. So along the fitness talk, like, tell us a little bit about your bodybuilding experience and how that affected you. Like, did you follow the rules exactly? Did you beat your own drum? How
I don't fit in any fucking mold. Even as a bodybuilder, I'd be told that I'm too big, I'm too this, I'm too that. But that's the thing. It's a sport it's subjective. So like, you have to be okay with people being like, oh, you don't look a certain way. We want people to look this way or that way. So you have to know, like, going into this, there's already going to be someone who doesn't really like you, and there's someone who loves your physique. But bodybuilding, to me, it changed the game. Like, it changed everything because it gave me that mindset where it's like, you know what, if I can fucking get through this shit, if I can eat this way and train this way and I can mentally be strong, I can fucking do anything. And like, that's a power that I believe is in bodybuilding. It gives you that mindset that you might not otherwise have. But I have to be honest, I don't think bodybuilding is a great thing for girls to do as far as like health.
That was one of my questions, because my dad was a bodybuilder growing up too. I mean, and I didn't know him while he was a bodybuilder. I was way too young for that. But it's like, is it really healthy?
No. And I say it, anyone who wants me to coach them, which I don't really do as much, because I'm like, no, but why do you want to do this? Because a lot of time girls are like, ooh, like, I want to look like you and I want that to be my end result. I'm like, bitch, I look like that maybe for 5 weeks, maybe 10, depending on how many shows I do. But like, it's like this goal that they have that's impossible. And like, it's so unhealthy. Like, you can do it in a healthy way leading up to your show, but regardless, like, those last few weeks, it's just not.
It fucks with your head.
It fucks with your head. It can fuck with your hormones if it's done incorrectly. A lot of the time, girls are convinced that they have to get, you know, breast implants. They have to do steroids. They have to do all these things. Like, yo, you don't have to do that. But like, sometimes it's hard to know who to listen to and who not to listen to, who to trust, who's on bullshit, like who just wants your fucking money. So it's like a really hard thing to get into. But at the end of the day, like, you have to really fully understand it. I'm transparent. I'm like, here's what's going to happen. Here's how hard it's going to be. You still want to do it? All right. Well, also here's this. Here's the aftermath. Like, you can, it fucks your body no matter what. Afterwards, like, getting out of that, like, rebound of it, you're just going to gain weight. Like, it's part of the process. You have to understand that. And a lot of people can't handle it. It's fucking hard.
Because you've cut so much out.
Yeah. But, and that's the thing too. The reverse is harder because when you have to increase it back up, people are like, fuck it. You know,
you
donuts.
can't control that.
No, and it's so, you can if you get really good at it, but it takes a lot of time. And even sometimes it's just like, fuck it. I see that cake over there, smashing the whole thing. Yeah. And then it's done.
Yeah. I was going to say,
you don't have that impending day over your head anymore.
Yeah. No matter what, if there's that restriction that leads up to it and you try to control that reverse diet, more likely than not, more people than not end up with a binge eating disorder for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
For 3 weeks, 4 months. It might
you're
literally
not wrong.
Permanently scar your life.
You can fuck up so many things, but it's also the fact that people don't go into it the right way. Like, you're supposed to like increase your calorie intake. You're supposed to be eating a lot of food so that then you actually have a cut, like you're cutting, versus like, hey, I'm just gonna eat 1,200 calories for fucking 16 weeks and then, you know, you're just completely fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, wait, I have a question about this related to bodybuilding.
Okay.
What is it like, you know, being more muscular as a woman and like people's opinions of that, like people trying to, you know, put in their opinion, oh, like bodybuilding, is that like girls do that too? You know, like just things, have you experienced things like that?
Oh,
or like
man.
being like, you're because you're ripped and it's so badass.
Yeah, she's looking good.
I'm like, I wish, dude.
Please, if you haven't yet, pull up her Instagram.
I mean,
just take a little browse because she's gorgeous.
Go on.
She's fit.
Go on. Go on.
I love how I love your hair too every day.
Changes.
Like,
I know.
Yeah.
How do you look good?
I want to talk
you.
about that in a little bit too.
We will.
Sorry,
We'll touch
answer
on it.
Sid's question.
Okay, so let's just go back to the beginning. When I first started bodybuilding, this was not a common thing. Like, everyone does it now. It's really, Instagram kind of amplified the platform for bodybuilders and for fitness. But before all that, everyone would be like, and now I wish I knew the things I knew now, like the comebacks, but like women would be like, oh, my man doesn't even have abs like you. I'm like, well, that's a problem for you, sweetheart.
That sucks.
That's too bad.
Too bad, babe.
But like, that's the thing too with people being like, oh, you're so masculine. I'm like, okay, but if having muscle means that you're manly, then as a man, where the fuck are your muscles?
Oh,
right?
shit.
I mean, that's the thing is like, it's changed a lot over the years. Like, people used to be like, ew, like you look like a man. It's like, well, I mean, your man doesn't look like me. So do I really look like a man then? But
does your man look like a girl?
Right. Is he feminine then, honey? Like, maybe he should go work out. But not to attack people, but really in the beginning, it was a lot of hate, like a lot of women and men, but more so women. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, why are you being such a hater? And I learned, like, it's one of those things where you don't understand the work that it takes to get there. And a lot of the women who start trying to like even put on muscle, they'll be like, okay, yeah, this was really fucking hard. But in the beginning, it was a lot of hate, a lot of like negative, nasty, like you look a man comments. Now it's a lot less. Like, I feel like people are a lot more supportive and like, damn, that took a lot of work. You look great. And I feel like that the female mindset and empowerment of each other has shifted and changed because of the body positivity of people being like, you know what, skinny, thick, muscular, whatever the fuck you are, we all support you. And like, that's kind of where I feel like things have moved in that direction. So, but yeah, I've been called a man a lot.
That's horrible.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
I know, but God, people.
Yes. Do you think that the acceptance these days is related to social media?
Oh, for sure.
I do
absolutely.
too.
I mean, social media has given us this place of like people being able to openly speak about every single body type, every single, you know, physique, and the bullies finally being like attacked back and being, you know, put on blast, which I love to fucking do. It's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like social media has opened up that space for people to talk about it, but I feel like, do people still just DM you like weird shit? Like,
not as much.
Okay, but still, because you have a platform and people can hide behind their phones and they can hate.
They can, most people who do follow me know how I am. Like, I usually screenshot it and I post it. Like,
I love that.
Those are my
no, you have to.
You're not gonna fuck with me. Like, you're not gonna be able to slide in my DMs and be like, someone actually recently. I'm gonna say this. I did shift my perspective and stopped putting everyone on blast. Someone said some nasty shit to me last night, and so I took a second. I had this whole thing typed up. Went back and I was like, you know what? What is your intent behind this message? And she literally the next day was like, I'm really sorry. I was in a really bad space last night. I apologize. I shouldn't have said those things. And I'm really sorry. But I've learned that sometimes, especially with this year, I'm like, you know what? Let's give this person some grace. What the fuck's really going on? Why are you attacking me? Out of all the people maybe you could talk to, we don't even know each other. And so like, I started to less, you know, burn people, but yeah.
Good for you though, because
Thank
that
you.
takes a lot of
Taking the high
control.
road.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah, for
just
sure.
yeah, you're taking the damn high road,
Yeah.
girl. Fuck it.
Those are my. I loved the roast on your
I
stories.
still do
though.
it,
If they're like
but-
a man doing something,
You know I love to.
inappropriate,
I
those
love
are the
to do
best.
that. I love it.
Speaking of DMs, I want to hear some of your craziest DM stories because I feel like you get some weird asks.
I'm sure.
Do you get some feet pic requests, underwear
No,
requests?
I don't get those, and I know it
want
sounds.
a feet
I know that I like it sounds so dumb that I'm like, what? Because my friends all get them. I'm like, wait, no one wants my feet. I'm like, is something wrong with my feet?
They're probably like their
No,
titties. They
I
probably
never
stink.
get 'em.
People like that though. They like stinky like feet and stinky
they do.
shoes
And underwear. And I know the stories. Mine were weird. Like I don't get them as much, but I think I talked about this on a different podcast before. But I had people who asked me to fucking crush baby kittens with my mule, like the high heels that we have, the clear heels. I had a guy who was like $5,000. Crush baby newborn kittens. And I was like,
what?
I thought he was I just entertained it. I was like, well, what are you talking about? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, baby kittens, crush like newborn baby kittens with your heels.
What?
He's like, 5,000. I was like, no, not a chance in hell. He's like, okay, fine. 10,000. He kept increasing. Then he was like, okay, how about baby mice? I was like, yo, what the fuck? No.
What is wrong with
I
this
am
person?
in shock.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who
Okay.
want me to wrestle too. So like
Wrestle?
wrestle them.
Like
Recently, I had a guy who's like, "I'll give you $7,000, just choke me out," and I was like, "You know, it's
is going
not a bad offer, though." I'm not gonna lie, I considered it. And I was like,
I know
no,
you're like
no.
$7,000. Okay.
$7,000 to choke a guy out. Like, okay,
Like
I mean,
kind
Do
of
you think
sounds
you
fun.
could do
Venmo
it?
me. Yeah,
I think you could do
for
it.
sure. I would have someone with me though, just in case.
I was gonna say like don't go to his sketchy basement
Little
at his
sus.
mom's house. Like
Yeah.
I swear to God, he probably lives at his mom's house.
Probably.
Come choke me out.
But I mean, if he gave me $7,000,
Yeah, like
I mean,
you could close your eyes and just
right,
focus.
just choke him out. I wouldn't actually do it, but I definitely considered it for a second,
That's
for a
the most
split second.
absurd- You
Yeah.
are crazy.
We were talking about DMs that we've considered in the past for money too. It's like it's tempting, but I don't know. I could not crush baby kids.
No,
Oh my God, no.
I never considered that one.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no, no.
but even the thought of that, like, how do you come up with this
So
shit?
sick. That made my stomach churn.
Yeah.
When you said it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like,
That
oh
guy needs
my
help.
God.
There was more than one
Not
too,
surprised though.
Like they would ask me to crush things too. Eventually, someone was just like, crush fruit, crush things. Just let me see your strong thighs, crush things.
Oh my God.
I'm like, my thighs aren't that strong, but okay.
People are like, what are you doing?
my god,
What are they?
Insane.
Oh, like
But
scrolling through your
entertaining.
photos. It is entertaining,
Yeah.
but they're like, oh my God, what I do to see her crush a grapefruit right
Yeah.
here. Like, what? What is wrong?
Craziness.
People are crazy.
Okay, so what do you credit? Because you have a great platform. Like you have a good amount of followers. You're technically an influencer, which is, and you do great things with it.
Thank
I
you.
want to know like how you built your Instagram. Like what do you credit your fame to?
All bodybuilding.
Yeah?
It was again, like this was before the algorithm bullshit. Like I just posted what I was doing. I posted my body. And back then it wasn't popular. Like again, like it was not a thing that people did. So it was like when you see someone who's just doing something so out there and different and not the normal mold of society, I feel like more people were like, oh, this girl, she's dope. And like I swore a lot. I still fucking swear a lot.
Hell
but
yeah.
that wasn't common.
like
Like
that.
people are very like, there's different kinds of people on social media. There's the girls who are like, hey guys, how you all doing? And there's people like, hey, what the fuck is up, everybody? Like, happy Monday. And like, I've always been this person who's just who I am, and I've never tried to be somebody else. And I think that was a big draw, being authentic.
Yeah.
And
So,
yeah, you continue to be authentic on
yeah,
your
forever.
platform. For
I don't know
sure.
how else the fuck to be.
Who
Yeah.
else are you going to be? And
I
then
don't
you have to
know.
like try to fit into a mold.
Right.
Well, with that and being authentic, like, do you like, I feel like, is it hard to go throughout the day and figure out like what the heck you're going to post or try to like put your phone away or like, you know,
No.
find the balance with that? Like, how does it change what you're
Lately-
doing every day?
Lately, I've been putting my phone away more, where I'm like, especially when I'm with my people. Like, I went to a dinner a couple years ago, so this is kind of my motivation behind it. All the girls were like on their phones. I remember putting my phone and I was like, yo, you guys, like, what's up? We haven't seen each other for a while. Like, let's talk, let's chat. So like, I've learned how to just put my phone down or put it in my purse or turn on airplane mode and not be distracted by it. But like, as far as thinking of things to post, I got a lot of shit going on in this brain. I always got shit to talk about, always.
I'm
People
the
like,
same way.
yeah, people are like, how do you come up with the things you talk about? And I'm like, I don't know. Something just pops in my head in the morning. I'm like, you know what? I feel like people should know that this is what I'm thinking about. I talk about it.
Hell
So
yeah.
She does these like fun coffee talks.
Coffee
right?
talks, yeah.
She
That's
has the
amazing.
funniest mugs. She has like a penis
I have a dick
one,
mug
a
for
dick
sure.
mug. She has a boob.
That's amazing.
This morning she had a boob mug.
Yes, but behind it was you're perfect.
Yes.
So like
I
your
love that.
boobs, I've always said we'll talk about this, but boobs are a thing for me.
Let's talk about boobs.
Yeah, boobs are important, and I feel like everybody wants to have these perfect tits, and I don't have perfect tits. Never
I think
have.
Your tits are
No,
great.
they're not though.
I can't see them, but I
You
bet they
can't-
are.
You
They're-
guys, I don't
no.
know what she's talking about. I would die for her tits.
They're not. They're not perfect. Let me just tell you what. They're not. And I never got breast implants. You know, when you lose weight, here's why. They get big, they get small. They get big, they get small.
Yep.
Then they stretch out a little bit. They're not as like perky and beautiful as my little 24-year-old girls that I hang out with. Yeah, no. I don't
We
have
were
these.
just talking about
We were
this.
just
Yeah,
talking about
no.
this.
I look at their boobs and I'm like, damn, you could literally like bounce a quarter off that shit. But like mine are not like that. And I used to be really insecure about it because they, you know, they get big and they get small. So now I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Who told
Yeah.
me that my beauty? Now I'm like, okay, these tits are great. But back, you know, a few years ago, I wasn't like that. And so now I'm like, you know what? My tits are my tits and I love them because they're mine. And no one in society is going to tell me that I have to have these perfect, round, hard
Yeah.
tits.
And no one's looking at them
Yeah.
like, oh no, I wish those don't look like this. Like, what
Right.
are you even comparing it to when everybody's looks different?
And most men aren't. I mean, if we talk about men, they don't care.
And
Yeah.
also, I was
They're
going to say,
tits.
most of them usually prefer
don't give a
anyway.
shit.
I can grab 'em.
a real,
Yeah,
a real
exactly.
boob. They're like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not like, oh yeah, like that
Yeah.
fake boob is way
Right.
better. Like and
And-
even if they did, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Shouldn't.
And it's so cool that that was one of your biggest insecurities, but yet you're able to like that's what you're posting. Like you have a whole Instagram talking about boobs or something. So it's,
I did a whole
you
article on breast
expose-
implants.
Oh, you did?
For bikini competitions.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was like, we don't have to have breast implants,
Yeah.
ladies. Like, you can still win a show. I got my pro card without anything, just
Hell
my regular
yeah.
boobs.
Wait, really?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
most
amazing.
girls were like told by coaches like you have to get breast implants or
I've
the
heard that
judges
before.
won't pick you. I got picked. It's not about that. I mean, it's a whole package, but like you have to. That's why you have to be careful who the fuck you listen to. People will tell you to do shit, then you have these giant tits that you didn't even want to begin
Yeah.
with. So
We were before you got here, we were actually talking about our boobs and how
Yeah,
when we stop
literally.
lifting, they do get smaller. And I've noticed like
yeah.
I have to like work my pecs just like any other male, any other female. It's like
Yeah.
they perk them up a little bit. And I can also do like the one boob then the other. Can you do
yeah, I
that?
can
Oh,
do
yeah.
that
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that
it's
fun?
so
It
weird.
is
I'm like, oh,
I'm
sorry.
like, hey,
Touch.
I'm
I
like,
touched.
hey, can you do that? It's like a guy's like, no. I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah, I
You're
just
like,
did it right
"Aw."
now as
Yeah,
we're sitting here.
same.
You can't
I know,
see it,
my
but I'm
boyfriend
doing
was
it.
like, he was like, what was that? I'm like, oh, I just
Hand
my
flexing
I
my
just was
pec,
flexing
right?
my pec. I'm like, oh god, that's like whatever.
Okay, so about the algorithm, I've noticed that you've been getting censored a lot. So tell me about your newfound
Yo.
Snapchat.
Fuck the algorithm bullshit.
Fuck the algorithm.
What do you mean
Seriously.
they're censoring you?
Okay, you know what shadow banned is? I'm fucking
Yeah.
shadow banned every goddamn week. I swear to God. Goddamn. So like if I cover I posted a picture. I had my tits covered, my hair was covering it, everything, and I was wearing underwear. Like I wasn't actually like naked, and they took it down. And then you're shadow banned. So shadow ban means they stop putting your stuff in front of people. People can't find your content. Some of my people that like have followed me forever, like, Angie, I can't even find you. I thought you deleted your Instagram. So the censorship is real. I posted this stupid meme, which I don't believe this anymore. It was men
you're
are
probably
trash. That was what it said, but it was a meme and it was a post, like whatever. I took it from someone else's page and I posted it and they took it down and they were going to delete it said Instagram was like, we're going to delete your account for
up.
hate speech. I was like, yo, it's a
What?
joke. Yeah.
It's a meme.
But it's hate speech.
But
It's hate speech. So because of that, I was threatened twice that they're going to take my account down for hate speech.
Are you kidding?
No, they're very on top of it. So now I'm like, man, I hate the censorship because I'm a jokester. You know, I like
Yeah.
to tell jokes. I think I'm a fucking comedian. Maybe I just think I'm funny. It doesn't matter. But that's the thing.
love
Is like the censorship of not being able to actually say something, even if it's a joke. And I mean, there are some things like, yeah, hate speech. Yeah, of course you shouldn't be able to do that. But like
Right.
for the most part, being like something is trash, it shouldn't be something you can't say.
Yeah, I don't.
But in
Why do-
men's defense, they're not all trash.
Explain why you changed your mind on that.
yeah, I was
one.
gonna say, what's
Well-
going on with that? Well,
Okay, so I got out of a shitty relationship, which anyone who follows me knows because I talk about everything, and it was horrible. But I've encountered, I mean, there's some really good dudes. Like, for example, all my brothers are great. I love my brothers.
He doesn't know who I am, but I've met him at WeWork.
Just the sweetest. Yeah. Aww. And like, he's great. He's not trash. But also, if I'm being honest, I've gone on some dates where guys are like really great. I'm like, why don't I like you?
Yeah, I know.
It's
and
probably
you
because
can't
they're so great.
To do it.
But then I'm like, you know what? Not all men are trash. I'm focusing on the wrong thing. And I believe in manifestation, and I believe in like speaking things into existence. And I've been speaking trashy men into my world. So I'm like, you know what? They're not all trash. And so I've been meeting a lot more great men because I haven't been in that mindset of men are trash. So
wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So speaking of previous relationships, because we had one that you kind of wanted to talk about, but before we even dive into that, though, well, on the same topic of that, how has your platform in the past, like having such a following on Instagram, like affected your relationships?
None of them until this last one. And this last one, it wasn't so much mine. It was like him creating things in his head. Like, oh, you're talking to guys, man. When I'm with somebody, I'm with them. Like, I'm not about like, yeah, people slide in my DMs. I'm like, you can see this. He would get mad. Cause you know how men have conversations in your DMs with themselves, but you never respond.
Yeah.
He got mad at me a few times. He's like, well, who's this? I'm like, man, I don't fucking know who he
Bob
is.
from
Right.
Texas.
Yeah. Like, I don't
knows?
know. I don't care either. Look how I didn't respond. But like, he would get mad about that. But like, I told him going into the relationship, I was like, see how I post? Not going to change. You don't like it? Let's address it now, because it's not going to stop. I'm nudist. I believe in women being able to show their bodies however they want. Just because it looks sexual to you doesn't mean it's a sexual post. Like, I posted that thing about women who pray to God and post quotes about God all day long, but yet they are cocksucking guzzling.
Yeah.
Whatever it said. I don't
say?
remember what it said. It's something about cocksucking whatever. It's a meme.
Yeah,
it's a meme.
yes,
but then
this.
yeah. And then there's women like me who I'm posting my body, but that doesn't mean I want you to have sex with me.
But you haven't had sex in
right.
8 months. 8 months.
It's been a long time. You know these things?
Bitch, you put it on your story all the damn
It's been
time.
a long time. But
I was like, wait
you
a
know
minute.
She
what?
hasn't had sex in eight months.
It's been a long time, but there is Bob. I do have a Bob in my world. Bob is battery operated boyfriend, and he does the job.
Battery-operated boyfriend. Oh, I
He
love.
does the
I
job.
have never heard that.
Bob.
Is
Bob.
that like a vibrator? Or is
He
that
vibrates.
Battery operated boyfriend.
He vibrates, and he does a great job. He does not disappoint ever. So
That's wait. So
I take care of
he'll
myself.
do the trick for now. Who cares?
Yeah.
Can we
he takes
ask your
care.
favorite Bob brand?
I don't know. It's from the sex kitten uptown, right by us. actually.
Oh, right down there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They have like these. It's like a. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just this little. It's like a bullet.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
great.
bullet.
It has a little curve too, so
Yep.
you can like.
Mine is
Put
a
it
little
up
bullet
there.
with a little curve.
It's great.
Yep.
You know.
You gotta have
It
the
does
Bob.
the trick.
Gotta
And
have
if
the
you think
Bob.
you like a guy, use your Bob, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I was just horny.
Maybe I actually don't need.
Maybe I didn't really like you that much. I just wanted to have sex.
Bye bye.
That's the key.
I want to hear. I want to hear about this. I can't stop laughing. I'm like, I don't even have time to ask a question. I want to hear about this toxic relationship. Like, what did you not see going in? And can tell us like a little background about it.
So after this relationship, I did a lot of research. Like, I read every single book because I needed to understand why this person specifically treated me the way he did. And I learned a lot about narcissists and like how it's different when someone has narcissistic personality disorder, because we're all narcissists. Like we all have this, narcissistic society where we're all just kind of obsessed with ourselves. But a narcissist doesn't give a fuck about you at all. They never did, but they're charming and they're two-faced, and they show you this side that it's like they wear this mask of what they think. Like, you tell people what you want, they become that for you.
Oh, that's
like,
so
I am
fucked up.
exactly what you want. But you can only have this facade for so long. You can only be this person for so long. And we were friends for a long time, and then we started dating, and I was like, oh my God, this is my Prince Charming. This is my person. I'm in love. And as I got to know him more, I was like, oh my fucking God, you are Satan. And like, but the dumb thing is we had this cycle. And like, when you get into the cycle with a narcissist, it's really hard to break that cycle because they're so good at being like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll be better, I'll change. And you're like, okay, well, I love you, so I'll listen to you and I believe you. They're good. The cycle continues. They cheat, they lie. And the cheating and the insecurity side of it, like, I used to think it was my fault. Like, oh, I was like, I'm the best girlfriend, I'm doing everything right. It didn't fucking matter. It was all within himself. He was so insecure. He was so just had so many issues within himself that like it didn't matter how great I was.
It never is going to matter, especially with cheaters too. It's like, I loved how you just said that. It's like, the insecurities were within him, not you.
No.
You didn't bring it upon yourself for him cheating. It had nothing to do with your platform. It had nothing to do with your DMs. That's his own issue, and that's always how it's going to be.
Right.
Isn't that insane, though, that he was bugging you about your DMs and who was sliding
Yo,
into
and
your
he was
DMs,
the one.
and he was
The
running
whole-
around.
But the whole time, you guys, I didn't know until I left it. We also really want to believe what we want to believe. So even though looking back, I'm like, bitch, are you dumb? But like in the moment, it's like, no, he really wants to be good. No, he really loves me. He's not talking to her anymore. And then I look back, I'm like, okay, this. Yo, the whole time.
Can we get detailed about how you caught cheating?
The universe,
Because
I swear to God,
No way.
The universe would just, I wouldn't even be looking. And like, I know that in relationships, people play the girl out like, oh, she's crazy. She's looking at everything. Literally, we'd be sitting there. I'd be making him dinner, doing something fucking cute as hell. And then his phone would blow up. One time, this motherfucker had the VA. He's a veteran. So the VA would call him. He put his fucking ex's number as a VA. So when the VA would call, I'd be like, honey, the VA is calling you. And then it called 3 times one time before we were going to a wedding. And I was like, hey, why is the VA calling you again? So I answered it and it was this bitch.
No.
And so it was, but it was
VA
like that
calling.
yeah. Oh God, PTSD.
And you answered.
But no, and every time he would do something shady, I would have this feeling too. When we broke up, he's like, yo, I thought you were stalking me. He's like, anytime I did something, you somehow knew. But it was like, you start to understand and recognize their behaviors. And then like, I just would get this intuition. I'd be like, hey, where are you? Where did you say you were? I feel like you're not there. And then he'd be like, no, I'm here. And I'd be like, hey, I'm going to stop by. Okay, I'm not there. I was lying. I'm actually here. But like, that's the thing is like, you start to see the cycle and understand it. And then you start trusting in your intuition. It's like, okay, I caught him every fucking time. At least the most of the time, the times that mattered the most.
Can I ask why you stayed after? Like after you caught him and maybe once, twice, 3 times? Like
Yeah,
why
absolutely.
were you still in it?
It was my fault. It was me. It was my issues within myself that not only we get attached. There's what is it called? A bond. Oh my God.
Attachment?
Trauma bond.
Yep.
So I had trauma bond, but I also had my own attachment issues from my childhood, which is all the work I've been doing all these 8 months of being with Bob. I've been doing a lot of Bob. I've been doing a lot of work internally being like, you know what, why did you stay though? Like, what was it that you wanted to stay with this person for? And I looked deeper and I was like, I had issues growing up as a child. I think that's why I stayed. But a lot of women have reached out to me after I've posted about this. It's insane how many are like, please, like, I don't know what to do. I want to go back to him. I'm like, no contact. You cannot. They will find a way to get back in. And if you just give them a little taste, a little crumb, they will come back. They will try. They will do everything, and you cannot go back into it. So it's been 8 months. Now, does that mean that this narcissist Satan person has tried to reach out to me? Yes, but he's blocked. And unfortunately, there is some ways I can see the emails and things that he tries to get, through to me, but it doesn't matter. I have no interest.
How long did you guys date for?
We were friends for 11 years.
Oh my God.
College.
Oh, you've known him for
Oh my
that
God.
long?
Yeah, but like we were friends. I was like, this man is amazing. Like he was so great. But we dated for like, I would say it was like 4 years on and off.
Wow.
Long time.
Before the cheating, what were the red flags? Or even after the cheating?
Oh
I mean,
my
you were
God.
in it for so long.
There were so many red flags, you guys. And I was just like, at the time I was like, well, maybe. And I look back and I'm like, Angie, you knew. Like I knew the whole time. But like, so he was over the top with everything. Like, oh my God, what is it called? Love bombing. Oh, that's a
yeah.
word for narcissists. Love bombing. They are just amazing. They make you feel like you are a queen. They do everything. They want you to feel that love. And he made me feel so amazing. And not just that, I would be like, hey, I need to take it slow. I don't want to rush into things. Like, I want to get to know you. I want to make sure this is right. No, 100% balls to the wall. Like it was all in. We moved in together after like fucking 6 months. And I like looking back, I feel bad because I know that his girlfriend at the time, his ex, he was playing the same way he played me at the end. He did the same thing to her. And I knew, but also in that moment, I was like, this feels so good though. Yeah. He loves me.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it weird that we know these things and we have those gut feelings? And
as women,
and just going back to like you having that gut feeling that he's cheating, or you having that gut feeling that you knew something was off. It's like just proves that we have to listen to that.
You know what's going on. And I have to say, even in previous, because I was in like a more toxic relationship, I had dreams of the person cheating because I saw these red flags that night. Like, for instance, they would say they're here, like he would say, they'd say they're somewhere, then I'd see a snap of them somewhere else, like in the background. And
Doesn't add up.
I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't leave, did you? No. And I'm like, they're lying, something's wrong, and you can just feel it in your soul, like, you know. And I dreamt about it, woke up the next morning, and I dreamt about the thing that happened.
Yep.
It's just like your intuition is
we
freaky.
need to trust our intuition. We really do. And like that's the thing too, is gaslighting, where they're like, no, that's not what you saw. The gaslighting with a narcissist is insane. Where that you'll be like, hey, I think I saw you post this. And they're like, no, you didn't see that. They'll delete it. Or I used to see messages and be like, no, she said this exactly. I thought I was losing my mind. I would screenshot things so I could go back and be like, okay, no, you're not crazy. Because he would gaslight the shit out of me. He'd be like, no. Like I would see them together and he'd be like, that's not what you saw. And then I'd be like,
so
wait, did I see that? So I used to have to call my friends and be like, hey, remember that day I called you? Is this what I said? And they'd be like, yeah, Angie, like, what are you talking about? I started to lose.
God.
I felt like I was losing my mind. Like I dead ass, like in that relationship, there was a while where I was like, I think I need to check myself in the hospital. I thought I was losing my fucking mind.
Yeah, because you're like, I don't even know what to believe anymore.
Right,
Like,
no.
do I believe my eyes or do I believe what
Exactly.
he said?
He would make everyone around us think I was fucking nuts. And that's why now when a guy's like, oh, she's crazy, I'm like, is she really crazy?
What are you doing to make her crazy?
What'd you do?
I know.
I mean, there's two sides.
There's definitely
always
two
two sides.
sides for
I was
sure.
not a perfect girlfriend. I will
Yeah.
admit that. I always have. But at the end of the day, I was not Satan by any means. I was not that horrible.
You
So,
definitely weren't.
no.
I can already read through that
With,
right away.
with that up and down, I have to ask, would he, after he would do something bad and you try to call him out for it, and like maybe it was possibly cheating or maybe it was possibly just like, you know, in girls' DMs, and either way it's wrong, would he like try to love bomb you right after
I want to show
that?
you my beautiful, I wear them all the time, my 2-carat diamond earrings in my ears. I mean,
You're
at least I got
kidding
something
me.
out of it. At
You're
least I
kidding
got
me.
something.
You got a few things from it, right?
Yeah, like he would do shit where he'd be like, here's like, makes them elevated in society or how they look. Like that's everything. So if you ever listen to this, you'd be like, she's trying to ruin me. I'm just telling the truth. These are facts. This is what happened. But like when he did something so fucked up that I was going to leave, he's like, okay, you know how much I love money. Let me get you these diamond earrings. Got me these diamond earrings. Fucked up again. I was like, well, I really like the jackets that go with them. And so now looking back, I'm like, Angie, that's so terrible that you did that. Like you should have just left. But at the
No.
time I was like, all right,
Take
fine.
it.
So he got me, I have 2-carat, each are two, I think they're 2 carats each in my
He
ears.
was playing you, you're gonna play him.
Yeah.
Even playing field.
Yeah,
Boom.
but I don't. And now that I'm healthy and normal, I don't believe in
Healthy
like
and normal.
Well, I mean, in that relationship, I wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
toxic. But like, I would never play that game. I'd be like, you know what? No, you fucked up. I want you to give me earrings because you love me and you respect me and you treat me how I deserve to be treated, like a queen. Versus, hey, I fucked up again. I talked to my ex. Can I get you something so you'll stay with me?
It's so
my
It
God.
worked too. I'd be like, all right, fuck it. Don't do it again. Otherwise, I get a ring. Which why would you want that? Like
Some people think
Yeah.
that it's going to solve all the problems though, but
Doesn't.
I'm not kidding you. With those guys that do that and they gaslight you and they mess up and then they like will give you like for you it was gifts, but all this abnormal love, like you're the most amazing person I've ever met in my entire life. I like text you like 30 times. That's not normal. That is not normal. Not normal behavior. I just had to say that because sometimes it doesn't come in the form of a gift. It comes in the form of abundance of love or abundance of something like weird.
Those
like,
honeymoon phases. If it feels like it's like this and you feel that condescending tone, you feel that gaslighting, like pay
my
attention.
biggest thing when I left my relationship, and I talk about this all the time, this is my best analogy. I was on a roller coaster ride for 4 years and it was fun sometimes, and other times it fucking sucked. Now all I want is a Ferris wheel. I want a Ferris wheel kind of love where it's consistent, it's not crazy, it's fun, and I know what to expect. Like that's what I want.
that's the perfect way to put it.
So I do have a question. If there is someone right now listening and they're in like a toxic relationship, what was a first step that you took, or like how would you recommend someone getting out of a toxic relationship?
First and foremost, like this is the hardest part. Like I'm not even over exaggerating. I thought I was going to die. Like that bond, that like heartbreak. And on top of it, so I had a horrible situation too, where my dog had cancer at the same exact time. Oh. But like, I feel like that actually was more of my focus at the time, but regardless, the hardest part was leaving and like staying out of it, like not going back. There was nights where I was like, I want to go home. I miss him. I miss the little family we have. But what helped me and what I'm trying to create with my community and like with some of the work that we're doing for Love Her More project is giving people that community, that group of women that can be like, here, I support you. Let me talk you through this. Like, if you feel like calling him, call me. If you need to go and grab coffee or grab a drink, I'm here for you. If you don't because if you don't have that, it's really easy to go back. And like, I went back so many times because I didn't have that support of people there to be like, hey, I'm here. Like, don't go there. No. He's crazy. He's going to do this to you. We know the cycle. Stay here. And like, if you have those people in your world, lean hard on them. Because they're going to be what's helps you break that cycle.
You need that. You need those groups of people around you, especially since like a lot of people, if you've dove so hard in head first into a toxic relationship and you've kind of pushed everybody else aside, you feel like you can't get out because you're like, well, now I'm alone.
And that's the thing too, is my family would tell me about it, and they're like, we can't deal with this anymore. Like, it's really impacting us. And I was like the frog in the boiling pot analogy. Have you heard that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where you start off and it's like, oh, the water's fine. It's and slowly gets warmer, and before you know it, you're boiling. You have to get out. Like, and I got out before I fucking, I was so that. Like, yeah, it was awful. Like, I wanted to die. So it was like, I got saved essentially out of this toxic situation. So.
Yeah. I was trying to find our straight candid listener stories and advice. Should we get into some of that?
Yeah, because one of them relates to Jim.
Yes.
And we want you to also answer this one.
So every week people write in some crazy ass stories. We can all react to a few, but we have a few advice questions right off the bat. So
why don't you start it off?
I will once I pull up my damn... Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. This is a little long-winded, but I'm just going to go for it. Okay. She goes, so I'd love if you could give some advice on this situation. Gym crush. So here's the background situation. October 2020, I noticed my gym crush. We matched on Tinder weeks later, and neither of us reached out. During the second gym shutdown, a few months later, we matched on Hinge. We were messaging, but it never really went anywhere. I ended up deleting the dating apps because I have a hard time with meeting randoms there, and I wanted a genuine connection. We didn't see each other a lot in the gym, obviously, because it was a shutdown. Fast forward to January 2021. Since January, 3 months, we've both seen each other at the gym 5 times a week. We both get there around 6 p.m. and leave around the same time. Around February, we matched on Tinder again. Again, neither of us messaged first and ended up deleting the app again. And then she goes, every now and then he asks me if I'm using a bench. I'm obviously not using, but neither of us has made the move or actually started an actual conversation. Sorry, I skipped a part. At this point, we both talk to all the other regulars at the gym except each other. How the hell do girls approach guys? Is this okay at the gym? It's definitely more awkward because we've matched 3 times on dating apps. Am I overreading this? Should I just let it go? I just don't know what to do.
Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, do it. Just talk to him. Like, this is something I think as women we're like so shy. Just fucking say hi. Like, I know at the gym we have this rule, like, don't bother people at the gym, like, don't whatever. But okay, this backstory at this point, if he asks you for the bench, be like, hey, yeah, like, I'm not using it, but how are you? Like, good to see you. Nice to see you in person. Like, just strike up conversation. I think it's like something that we're so afraid of, but like, society's changed. We can talk to guys first too.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little different if a girl interrupts a guy at the gym versus a guy interrupting a girl. I don't know why I believe that, but I do think that it's more acceptable for women to make the first move at the gym, because I feel like guys definitely hold back making those conversations at the gym, because a lot of times women are there to like zone in and get their shit done. But
and guys can be more creepy.
Yeah,
exactly. It can
exactly.
come off like a little bit weird, but just because we're getting like older, we're out of like, high school, college, doesn't mean we can't flirt.
Right.
Like, flirt a little bit. Be a little, out there. People like it.
Oh,
when
you
want to
use the bench press? Yeah, your pecs are looking good.
Also,
yes, there you go.
Like literally,
that's it.
And literally, she could be like, by the way, you can use the bench, but just, you do know that we matched on 3 different dating apps.
Or you know what you could say? You
literally
could be like,
anything.
You can use it, but like, I know you, or you could say something about like matching. I was going to say, I had a good pickup line. I just lost it. It would have been so good.
Yeah.
That's what probably would have happened to me at the gym. I'd be like,
yeah,
goodbye.
They're Sid flirting.
I mean, it's hard. It's definitely hard.
She has it in her head. Just
I'm like, never mind.
out.
I faint. I hit my head. No, he's like,
that's a good icebreaker though.
Or you look better in person or something like that.
Yeah.
Just like leave him with that. Make him message you then.
That.
I like to be sassy. Usually I'd be like, so you can talk to me at the gym, but you can't, DM me or shoot me a text, or
like that.
You can't ask for my number,
right?
Or come up and talk
I'm
to me.
sassy. Like, I don't like that. And I think, if that's your personality, be sassy. Just be yourself though. Like if you're cute and sweet, be like, say something cute. But like if you got sassy attitude, be sassy. And usually guys are like, oh shit, she likes me.
The sarcastic, the sarcastic flirting is the best.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're like you said, if you're quieter and not as much out there, like just be chill about it. Just say something light and be like, you know, we've connected, I think, on Tinder. Like make it a little awkward. Make
or
it
like
funny.
Your shoes.
Like
I don't know.
Make it chill and then say
Nice
see you around.
shoes.
Hopefully you'll hit me up or something like that.
Yeah.
Be easy with it.
She has options now.
You got options, girl. We support it. All right, we got another one. So this one gets a little bit more serious, and we really want to answer this and help this girl out. So I'll just read it. Girl, help. I went to my boyfriend's apartment the other day, and I opened his computer to put on music, and he was watching porn. No biggie, except for the fact that it was bisexual porn with another guy. 2 guys, 1 girl, and it was paused where the guy is in a bi couple and he's, getting, hit from behind. I, of course, looked at his search history after this, and he was specifically looking for porn with bi couple 2 guys. Is this a sign that my boyfriend could be bi? Should I bring it up to him? I would be okay with a threesome if he wanted to explore that, and I want him to feel comfortable opening up to me if he's into that. But maybe this was just a one-off thing. I don't know. Help. I am just too in my head about it, and I got to chill out.
Porn is weird. Porn is weird because I feel like not everybody is necessarily into that particular porn. It's just maybe that's what gets them. Maybe that's not what they really like. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of porn. I'm being really honest. I'm not against it. It's just not really my thing. But I think it's a good conversation to have. Like if you're in a healthy relationship, these are important conversations to have. And like you should feel comfortable being like, hey, I saw this. I wasn't, looking for it. It was just there. And I think we should talk about it. And like, I'm open to it. If you're open to it, if you need this, or this is something you would like to have, like, I think it's a good conversation to have.
I feel like in the note she says, I would be open to a threesome.
Yeah.
Like I would be open to exploring these things with you. And I think if you're open and willing to do that, you just have to get it out and say it. You know what I mean? You can't read your mind.
No, communication in a relationship is everything. If you want to be successful in a relationship, you've got to talk about all the things. You can't keep things to yourself.
Never assume.
And hell, she might have like a good boyfriend. I mean, a threesome with another guy versus another girl. Like, honey, you might be lucky.
Right.
No, but
if you're into that,
yes,
for sure.
Yeah, but in all seriousness too, it's like, and if he is bi and you're okay with that and you want him to talk to you, you got to just talk to him, face the facts. Like if you're hiding something in a relationship and you're not being open in communication and you saw something that's making you feel a sort of way, you gotta be honest. And that person it may give them an out to be like, yes, I am a little bit interested in the other sex, and I'm really nervous because I feel like that's going to push you away.
And hey,
communication.
She beat out double the people then too.
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
Oh,
so
100%.
But I totally agree with both of you. Communication, talk about it, and maybe it's a one-off thing, maybe it's not. Have you pulled up lesbian porn? Probably.
Exactly.
Just ask him about it.
Okay.
Communication.
Now we have a straight-candid story, which is just we kind of just react to it.
I
don't know if we can.
We love.
I guess we can talk. We can
in.
talk about this. So if you haven't listened to episode 19, Angie, you have to, because it's about. There's a story about this guy who left skid marks on the bed twice after having sex.
Twice.
So this is somewhat related because I think someone listened to episode 19. Well, actually, we'll get your take on the skid mark thing first.
I mean, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Like how? Like where they where they just were in the bed. They don't.
Yeah,
they don't wipe their butt.
Yeah, he must not have cleaned his booty hole or something. They were making the bed in the morning, and she noticed 2 skid marks. And then the next day,
did she ask him like, "Hey, did you fucking poop?"
Yeah. Well, I think she did. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like he felt really awkward. He felt really bad.
I know.
So she gave him the benefit of the doubt. They hooked up again. And it happened again.
That's not okay. Like, no. I don't know what's going on.
No.
Hygiene, people.
Okay, well, you're going to say it again
stressed
after this one, Sid.
Oh, God.
# straight cannon moment. I was giving this girl some good loving. And I'm only saying it was missionary because it's part of the story. I was on top and she went to grab my butt. And she grabbed a little too close to the glory hole. And there was a good size of toilet paper still stuck inside. She grabbed it and she stopped. And long story short, is the most embarrassing moment of my life so far. Next time I will make sure my ass will be clean and free of toilet paper. Please keep me anonymous.
No, next time. No, next time.
We will definitely keep you anonymous.
What?
Don't worry.
Wow.
What do you mean, dude? No. Oh my God.
It's
How hard are we clenching your
crazy
cheeks?
because like we keep it, you know, we're going to have
Yeah.
sex. We're like everything powder, make
Yeah.
sure it's, you know, ready to go.
I'm just
You,
like,
that's,
Yeah, they should do the same thing.
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
honestly feel bad, and I condone you for sharing that story because
Right.
like shit.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay
Yeah.
to like I
It
love that people are
happens.
putting themselves
Yeah.
out there and they're like, hey, this happened to me. Fuck. Next time I need to be better. But Jesus Christ.
Well, I have a
get wet wipes, man.
Yeah.
They're
wipe that
called
booty.
dude wipes.
Clean that booty.
a bidet. That's
My
what we should have said after the
My
poo poo
brother
boys
has a
story.
bidet. He
No
put
way.
it. He put it like he installed it
He
himself.
self-installed.
Yeah, I was like, why are you getting this, Daniel? Weird. He loves his bidet too. I'm like, all right, I guess whatever.
Any guy who has a bidet it's like equivalent. It's equivalent to our Bob.
It's so gross.
I'm not kidding.
It's
Like
my brother.
they
Really?
love it. They
Right,
just
yeah.
love it so much.
Yeah. Okay.
That
But
was hilarious.
Speaking of getting vulnerable and talking about issues like this, I do have like I'll put myself out there too. I remember because like embarrassing things happen during sex. Like
Oh, yeah.
he probably learned his lesson. But I remember the first time a guy ate me out. I remember he came up and he like did this thing where he grabbed something from his mouth and rolled it and put it to the side. And I still don't know to this day if maybe it was like toilet paper that was in my vagine. Vagine.
Oh my God. I love your open and willingness to share
Well,
that.
you know, we gotta be real.
No, we
Like,
gotta be
you've all-
real.
We've farted during sex, but now I will never make that mistake.
No, I didn't
again.
fart. I tooted.
Oh, wait, I
I
didn't
did
even
too.
know this. Okay, stay tuned during sex.
I didn't admit that. I'm
Yeah,
just
she
saying
did.
if I did, it would be a fart or a toot, not a fart.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
cute.
think of what embarrassing things have happened to me, and I can't really.
you're
think
just
of
you're
any.
just
I know on the
perfect in bed.
No, definitely no.
No,
I
we're
like
just
it.
we're all freaking human.
You don't
Yeah.
have to share.
Yeah.
No, I don't. If I could think of something, I would definitely share. I
know,
don't
I'm trying to
have
think of
anything
something funny.
I know. You guys, but seriously, thank you for sharing these like
Right.
vulnerable moments with us because
Yeah, for
this just like shows the like it's so relatable to all the listeners. So we appreciate you guys putting yourself out there.
We
for
do.
Sure.
It's candid.
Yeah.
You're a part of our story. You're a part of all the things that we're doing, and you're being real with us, and that's how
Exactly.
we create more realness in this world.
Yes.
I'm not kidding you.
Do you have
of real.
anything in mind? Are you
For-
done?
For sex, I'm literally thinking right now.
She's still,
I'm
she's
literally
still
trying to
pondering.
think
Because
of
we
like
have one more
something.
question for you.
Yeah,
One
let's do
final.
It.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah. What is we ask every guest this, what is your biggest insecurity? You can do physical, you can do emotional, or you can do both, even if you have two.
Okay, so it's been years where I'm not really insecure with a lot of things. And again, like I'm not being cocky. I'm just super confident in myself.
That's not cocky.
Because I've spent so many years being insecure about dumb shit, like what someone thinks about me or what someone thinks about me naked or my personality. And you know, for a long time, I will say this, maybe one of my insecurities used to be my big ass, loud ass personality. Because people would be like, I even had girlfriends be like, well, you're a little too much. That's why guys don't like you. You're too big. You're too this, you're too that. And for a long time, I was like, okay, so should I be less than myself? Like, how can I be more of what guys want? And now I'm like, fuck that. I'm exactly who the fuck I am. And if you don't like that, that's fine. You don't have to listen. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to talk to me. Like, it is what it is. I am not going to fucking change myself for anybody. And like, that's something I used to be so insecure about. And I feel like that's my power. And I think women should take back that power of trying to be less than so that other people don't feel so fucking small. Like, you don't have to be like, if you're big, it makes people feel small. Oh, well, that's not my problem. It sounds like a you problem.
Sounds like a confidence problem in somebody
Right.
else.
Exactly.
I got goosebumps. That was
I related
so
to
Thank
that.
you.
relatable. Yeah, I related to that a lot too. Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Way to end on that.
That was
thank you.
Holy fuck.
perfection.
Thank
You
you.
have been absolutely amazing. Like, I knew you were going to
It's
be
already
good.
over?
But yeah,
I'm
no,
having
it's
so much
quick.
fun.
I know, we're like
we can
chilling.
keep going, right?
Like,
Yeah.
you have been phenomenal. You
Thank
have brought advice in the fitness world, in social media, and relationships, and sex, and everything. And women confidence is everything that you stand for, and that's what we stand for. And that's exactly why we wanted you on here and knew you'd be
I'm
perfect.
glad that
And
you guys had
You
me.
killed it.
Girl, you need to start your podcast up again because you have a great public speaking
Thank
voice.
you.
You're knowledgeable. You know what you're talking about. People will listen to you.
Articulate?
Yeah,
You
you're very
articulate.
articulate.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you,
at
thank you.
articulate.
Just add
that in there. Slide that in.
Articulate on the resume. You guys follow us at Straight Candid Podcast on Instagram. And shout out to Back Pocket Boys, as always, our production company. They rock it. They sock it. Hit them up if you got a podcast idea that you want to get out there.
At the Back Pocket Podcast is their Instagram. And Angie, plug yourself.
Go ahead.
My Instagram is Amory Okon, and my business is Okon Fitness. So if
Boom.
you need help with fitness or mindset or any of those things, hit your girl up.
I got you. Thank you,
Thanks,
Angie.
guys.
Bye.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
that was beautiful.
And as always, I am so sweaty.
Yay.